Welcome back. Now we're going to do some NFL draft news. Now we're in the second half of this two-part podcast. And so in NFL draft news, the 2022 NFL draft is just around the corner. And unlike in years past, no one's got even a mild handle on how the first round is going to play out. There's a consensus regarding the likely number one overall pick. Sure, and you'll find it a lot of the same names in the top 5 or so picks across the mock drafts, but there's a lot of uncertainty even among notable positions like quarterback, where prospects like Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, and Matt Corral are all vying to come off the board first. With that in mind, we decided to run through each of the 32 first-round picks and suggest what each team should do in each slot: trade up, trade down, or stay put. Some clubs are better positioned to move up for a premium talent. Others might benefit more from collecting additional guests. Here's how we advise the decision makers. Now, keep this in mind. The Browns do not have a first-round pick in this year's draft, and they will not have a pick until round 2, which will be pick number 44. So keep that in mind. Now, beginning with the Jaguars, they have the first pick, and we feel the Jaguars should stay put. Normally, we'd say trade down, just because even after another veteran spending spree, they could use all the picks they can get. But with 12 selections already in hand, the mission here is simple. Secure the best guy. That's likely Michigan pass rusher Aiden Hutchinson, who could pair with Josh Allen to give Jacksonville a legitimate D-line. And so that's the Jaguars. They stay put. Now for number 2, that's the Lions. And we feel Lions should trade down. If they really like a quarterback here, see Malik Willis, they should think long and hard about pulling the trigger. If not, they'd be better off expanding their collection of picks, especially with another first round pick on deck, which is number 32. So we'll see what the Lions do with this second pick. And they've got that pick, so we'll see what they do. If they trade down or if they stay put. So now the Houston Texans have the third pick, and the media says Houston Texans stay put. Entertaining calls to move down wouldn't hurt, but they've already got 2/3 and 2/4 with a need for a premium talent at pretty much every position. They should sit tight and add a top tackle or a pass rusher, then find another starter at number 13. The Jets have number 4, and the media say the Jets trade down. Maybe a tackle, Akeem Ekwonu, or edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux is worth it. But with another crack at a first rounder at number 10, they can afford to move down and pick up another day 2 pick or two as they try to accelerate their rebuild, and that's exactly what they are trying to do. The New York Giants have number 5, and the media says the Giants trade back. Like the Jets, they'll surely have a chance to get a top OT pass rusher, but another pick uh, two slots later. Why not solicit from needy teams coming off a dire salary cap situation? They need all of the extra uh, uh, and the extra admission they can get. And I agree with that. Now, the Carolina Panthers have the 6th round pick in the draft, in this year's draft. And the media says that the Panthers should stay put. This is a popular spot for QB projections. And hey, if they're solid on Willis or Kenny Pickett, you could do worse. But considering most of these quarterbacks prospects appear similar in terms of risk reward, they should prioritize rebuilding draft capital and they don't pick again until the 4th round and take a swing at AQB later in the 1st. And I agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. The Giants have number 7. They stay, and the media says the Giants stay put. We have them trading back from number 5. So here is the prime spot for securing an instant starter, either at tackle or basically any defensive position. Sauce Gardner, Kyle Hamilton, or Nakobe Dean would all make for playmaking additions, and I think that would be good for I agree with that for the Giants. So we'll see what happens if they go that route or not. The Falcons have the 8th pick, and the media says the Falcons stay put. Many have suggested a trade down, but they already own 2 second and 3rd round picks after the Matt Ryan and Julio Jones trades of the last year. By sitting tight, they ensure themselves a shot at a top quarterback. Willis being the most enticing long-term bet or playmaker, either on offense, Garrett Wilson, which that I hope the Browns get, or defensive Jeremiah Johnson II. So we'll see what happens. And I think Jeremiah Johnson would be a good, Jermaine Johnson II, I feel, would be a good way for the Falcons to go. The Seattle Seahawks have the number 9 pick in the 1st round of this year's draft. And the media says that the Seahawks trade up. Armed with a pair of high 2nd rounders after their Russell Wilson trade, they have the ability to shake up the top 10, either to add Wilson's successor, Willis, or Matt Corral, or get themselves a new left tackle or a number 1 cornerback. So we'll see what they do. They could go either way with this, but I say they probably were going to go with a left tackle or a number 1 cornerback. That's what I say they're going to do, and we'll see. Now, the Jets also have the number 10 pick in the 1st round of the 2022 NFL Draft, and for that one, the media says the Jets stay put. If they're going to move down from number 4, as suggested above, they should hang on to this one, ensuring they leave day 1 with a top 10 talent, likely at wide receiver, edge rusher, or cornerback. And I agree 100% with that. I think they would probably leave day one with probably either an edge rusher or a cornerback, either way, or a wide receiver. And now the Washington Commanders have the number 11 pick, and the media says that the Commanders trade back, staying put, and adding the best defensive back on the board would be just fine. But after dealing a pair of picks for a new quarterback, Carson Wentz, they should consider a drop to accumulate darts. And I think I can agree with that. That's their best bet is to do that. The Minnesota Vikings have the number 12 pick in this year's draft, and the media says the Vikings stay put. There is a real case to be made for every scenario here. If you think they're playoff material, why not move up to secure one of the top corners? If you're taking the long view, why not add picks so new management can pressure for life beyond Kirk Cousins in the end? They can probably stay where they're at, keep their other picks, and still land a top flight edge rusher or cover man. Either way, and I think that's their best bet to stay where they're at. So to really stay put, and I think a lot of people are going to agree. The Houston Texans have the number 13. That's their other pick in this first round of this year's draft, and it says the Texans stay put. That's what the media says. More than most teams with multiple firsts, they desperately need talent at every position. By picking a number 3 and number 13, they should at least be able to add one impact starter to their lineup for 2022. And I can agree with that, and we'll see what the Texans do. The Baltimore Ravens stay up. They stay up, which means stay put. They could just as easily sit tight or roll with the best pass rusher or corner. But with 2 third-rounders and a whopping 5 fourth-rounders, they shouldn't hesitate to make a play for a top 10 talent like Sauce Gardner or Jermaine Johnson II. And I think Sauce Gardner might be a good guy for them to take. We'll see. The Philadelphia Eagles have the number 15 pick in this year's draft, and it says that they stay put. It all depends on who's available after moving one of their 3 firsts to 2023 in a big swap with the Saints. They should take a breath and secure either a day one starter or a long-term future on defense or out wide. Andrew Booth Jr. and Jordan Davis are 2 names to watch, and I agree with that. The New Orleans Saints have the 16th pick in the first round of this year's draft, and the media says the Saints trade up. After swapping multiple picks with the Eagles to add a first, they might as well double down and guarantee they get whomever they want, whether a quarterback, Kenny Pickett, or Matt Corral, or elsewhere, such as out wide or up front. And I can agree with that. And we will see what the Saints do. And I'll keep you updated. The LA Chargers have the 17th pick in the first round of this year's draft, and it says that the Chargers trade up. After their blockbuster performance in free agency, they can't just sit on their hands, or can they? A starting offense or defensive tackle may fall in their laps, but they have every reason to be aggressive, building around Justin Herbert to win now. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I'm going to come back with the rest of these right after this. Stay with us. It'll be a 3-part podcast.